Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, my friends. It is, of course, Livestream Tuesday, and I am Julie the Book Broad. So when you arrive, please do say hello. Let us know that you're here in the house. And yeah, just checking. Nobody's live yet. That's weird. So now I'm hoping that there's nothing wrong with my live stream. So let me know that you're here when you get in, and make sure that you can hear me so that I know my sound is working. We're coming at you live from the garden shed in Canada. So want to make sure that we've got audio and everything is coming through okay. And hopefully the video quality is a little bit better for you all when we're shooting today. So yeah, do make sure you say hello when you get here so that I know everything is working. You can hear me. And then we're going to dive in. So today's topic is 10 ways to make money as a nonfiction author. So yeah, it's still strange. I might start this live stream over because it's acting a little weird. So if you're here and you can hear me, let me know. Otherwise, it's very strange that there we go. Okay, some people are arriving now. There, hello. Okay, it was working. I had 0 attendees, which never happens. So I was like, something's wrong. But you guys are here now. I don't know, maybe YouTube was holding you all hostage for a minute and just wanted to see what I would do talking to myself for 90 seconds. And I started to panic. I'm not going to lie. All right, so today we're going to talk about 10 ways to make money from your nonfiction book as an author. All right, thanks, Robert, Angela, Ben, and Kevin, number 2. So thanks for letting me know. It was just a weird delay on my side. So you guys will get to, those of you watching the replay, you can say hello and watch the panic setting in as I think, there's something going wrong with my live stream. As always, whenever you arrive, make sure you say hello. And if you're watching the replay, do say hello as well. Benny, Aubrey, Alan, yay! Do make sure you say hello as well because there's still prizes for you. But of course, when you're here live with me, we have prizes. And Angela's in the house, so she'll be keeping track and coming up with ideas for who will be our prize winners today. We'll probably, as always, do a skill testing question as well as a random draw. Plus, if you've been commenting on the day a video is released every Tuesday and Friday, you get entered to win our fabulous #NoBoringBooks mug. Coffee, tea, and hot chocolate tastes better in it, as well as our Oh So Soft journal, which actually, Angela, I'm going to need a new one. I just wrote on the very last page today. So our Oh So Soft journal, which I also use. So Sergio, welcome. Yusuf, Maria, Poetry from the Heart, Jill, hey, everybody, welcome, welcome. Oh, it says the caption changed to 9 p.m. That's strange. So maybe that's why I was having some delay in the beginning, but you guys are here now. All right, so I'm going to dive right in. Oh, Joyce, yay. So again, today's topic is 10, basically. 10 was the new number I was working on it this morning. I'm going to cover 10 ways to make money as a nonfiction author. Most people realize that book sales aren't going to make them rich. Even if you sell direct from your website, you're still making $10, maybe $15 per book after shipping. When you sell them at the back of the room, same thing. You're typically maybe making $20 per book sold at best from the back of a room. So, or as part of an event or things like that. Now, well, I won't say it out loud, but when you sell it at the back of the room, sometimes it's cash. So, that's different kind of money to some anyways. So regardless, that you're selling, you got to sell a lot of books to get rich when you're making somewhere between $4 to even $15 per book. But to me, books serve so many purposes. They're really a wonderful tool that also helps people. So, it's like YouTube to me in a lot of ways. A book is monetized marketing. And so I make a little bit of money off of the YouTube channel with the ads that come through. And so that's wonderful because it helps cover some of the costs that I put into video editing and our studio rentals and things like that. But ultimately, YouTube really benefits my business, Book Launchers. So book is the same way. A book is something you're going to make money from, but ultimately it has a deeper benefit to you, the author. And if you have a business, then to your business as well. So I always encourage you not to create a book or, any kind of content for the purposes only of marketing, which is why I always talk about writing a book and thinking about your reader and really making sure it's reader benefit driven. But ultimately, this is content marketing, and a book is amazing content that really done well will establish you as the expert. It will build credibility, it will build trust, and those are very, very valuable assets to you in business. So, I think that, the question that you can ask yourself is, how do I sell books? But I love actually changing that question and going, how do I get books into the hands of people who are probably going to generate more income in another way? So, another way to put that is, how do I make money from my book? Lots of ways to do this. Number one idea is merch, and different books and merch. So merchandise. And different books lend themselves to different kind of merchandise. If you've seen the video that I did with Michael Brenner, his book is called Mean People Suck, and he created T-shirts and some other Mean People Suck merchandise. And I think Angela is going to drop the video link into the live stream comments. If you haven't seen it, put it in your to watch list. It's a great video talking about getting reviewers for your book as well. But he did a lot of merch, and you can check out his merch at meanpeoplesuck.com. I believe is his website. Hired Gun 2, our client Robert Workman, he created some merch around his book as well, a lot of merch, because he just was having fun doing it. Now that's also monetized marketing, right? These are people who have merchandise. Whenever you're sporting a branded kind of shirt. Oh, pardon me. So I had to leave my phone on, but I'm not going to answer. I am in Canada. We're on quarantine, just side note. So when we entered Canada, we had to do a 14-day quarantine. And it's kind of comical because the government of Canada and the province of British Columbia, they call almost every single day. And if I don't answer, they leave a very sternly worded voicemail. So that's what I will have to look forward to. And one day I was on back-to-back calls all day and I couldn't answer. And the voicemail was so stern that I told my husband to expect a knock on the door from the RCMP. They didn't come. They just kept calling and called the next day. So anyways, and all they do when they call, they basically say, are you abiding by the quarantine rules, which, you're not allowed to come into contact. We can't leave the property, on and on and on. And then they say, are you feeling, do you have a fever, cough, or any other symptoms? You say no. And then they basically say, okay, we'll be calling again. I can only assume they're geo-tracking the call. Otherwise, why do this every day? But I digress. So apologies for that. That's why my phone was on. It's because these calls need to be attended to, but it will wait. Okay, so merch. Now, merchandise is also monetized marketing, which is kind of fun because it can advertise your book, it can advertise your business, and so on, and people are buying it from you. But obviously, like books, that is not going to make you rich either. So it isn't my favorite, but it's a fun way. So I wanted to mention it because I think there's a lot of opportunity for many books to create some cool merch. And I mean, really, I don't sell them, but I could. This is monetized. This could be monetized marketing as well, but we just use them as gifts. But, this could be something that maybe someday I'll put up for sale. I am working on another. We have our hoodies, and then I have a new merch that I'm trying to get organized because I'm excited about it. But again, we use those as gifts to all of you for being a part of our YouTube community. But maybe someday we'll sell them for those of you who try and don't win. So second thing is probably one of my favorites, and that is to use your book to lead into an online course. And the beauty of this, there's many, many, many beauties of this. And this is also, in my previous business, I ran an education and training company, and I built a lot of online courses, which I'll touch on kind of what happened with those courses after, because that's something to think about too. We're creating intellectual property as authors. So I encourage you to always be thinking about not only ownership of your intellectual property, but what the value is and what it can be used for in the future. But your book can be, that content translates very beautifully into a book. And you don't need to hold back on that content because people will buy a course that has almost the same content. and pay a lot more for it because it's a different format. It has different tools. And in some cases, you're going to dive deeper into certain pieces of the material. So there's value in it just in the format that it's delivered and that it provides a different way for people to consume your material. And, a course, you're typically going to start at least $299, up to $1,000 or even $2,000 for the course. So you compare that, you sell one course, let's say you sell it for $600, and that's what you would have made from the sale of 100 books on Amazon. So you sell 20 courses and it's like selling 2,000 books. The other thing is this really does allow your reader to deeper dive into your material, which has tremendous benefits, obviously financially for you, but also for your reader. And one of my favorite examples of this is from my own personal situation was that I read Pitch Anything by Oren Klaff quite a few years ago now, but I was in the middle of trying to raise a lot of money for our real estate investments. And I was struggling a little bit we were hitting some success points getting money, but we weren't really nailing it. And that book was such a mind shift for me that I took the course, and his course, I think it was $299. It was identical. It was absolutely identical to the book, but I still enjoyed the course and didn't mind that I paid $299 for it because it was delivered in a different format and it allowed me to digest the book in a deeper way so I could put it into practical, really do that practical application part of a book, which is harder to do. So there's massive value in this. And then if you add tools or even, group access to you, things like that, the value of a course goes up so much more. All right, I'm going to check in to see who's here. We're talking about the 10 ways to make money as an author, and also you guys got a little tutorial on what it's like to be in quarantine. All right, so let's just see, just checking in. So Derek, hey, you're here. I was just noticing, Derek, your name wasn't on the draw the last couple of weeks. I don't think you've been commenting on the videos. I'm watching. I notice these things. Okay. How do people host merch? Do they like a fulfillment vendor? So I will vouch for you staying properly quarantined. Thanks, Alan. I'm sure they're going to buy that. Although, I am in a garden shed with a blue background, so I could be anywhere with this blue background. It allows me to look like I'm in the same place, even if I move around. But so hosting the merch, that's actually there's a lot of different ways to do it. And my understanding, I think everybody's tackling it a little bit differently. And I don't know if Jacqueline knows precisely, but yeah, so Teespring is one good one. Some people are setting up their own little storefronts using, I can't think of what it's called. Dale Roberts does this too on his YouTube channel. I haven't done it, so I actually don't know precisely how people are doing it, but I know, I think Robert Workman just set up his own store and he's been shipping it out, but Jacqueline's on here. So, hey, Jacqueline, thanks for joining in. And she might actually know the logistics of how they're doing it. So thanks for asking. And if we don't get you a good answer today, I will find out and I'll post it in the comments of this video after the fact. Okay. Because that is a good question. And Jacqueline did answer dropship companies that have set products. Okay, cool. Derek's been busy. It's okay, Derek. I didn't mean to make you feel bad. I wanted you to know that I noticed you hadn't been commenting lately and I missed you. Oh, the audacious kid. Hello from Sydney. Just woke up. And Kelsey, hello. PEI Canada. So you're on the other side. I'm on the West Coast right now. Okay. So going back into where we left off, number 3 is consulting. And there's a few ways that books help generate money with consulting. First, it's actually a natural thing that happens from a lot of people when your book gets into somebody's hands. In a lot of cases, they go, okay, I want you to do this for my company, or I want you to come and look at what's going on in my company. Do you do consulting? Like if you already don't consult, it is a question that will come up. What do you charge for a few hour call? Those kind of things. If you already are a consultant, it can often add a 0 to your rates. And an example, a friend of mine wrote a book and her fees before the book were typically about, I think it was $70, $80 an hour. About a year after the book, she was charging $750 per hour. So it can really add a 0. If you have consulting packages that you currently charge $1,000 for, you might find it going to $10,000 over time. I mean, this isn't instant. It's not like book comes out, charge more. all the time. But what happens is people see the value of your expertise in that book, and also more and more people will be reaching out. Both things put pressure on your rates and allow it to go up. But to me, if you haven't already thought about it, then I think you should be thinking about it before your book comes out, especially if you're in kind of a realm that naturally lends itself to that, like a leadership type book, anything where you could see a company potentially bringing you in. I had a call with someone the other day that was, a very specific target group of people. So if you're managing that target group of people, this book was for that kind of a manager. And so let's just pick on millennials right now, not pick on them, but choose that as, because I don't want to reveal what this book was about. But so let's say you've written a book for managing millennials, then you can now hope, even target your marketing towards having people come to you to consult with their organization if they're struggling with a certain kind of issue with millennials, retention, for example, or career advancement or career satisfaction, all those kind of things. Those can now lend themselves to you becoming a consultant on that particular subject matter at different companies. So you want to think about your rates, your packages, your positioning, all of those things. And you should be thinking about that when you're writing your book anyways. But consulting is an amazing way to, again, leverage the knowledge and the expertise that you have and leverage that book to make a lot more money than you would just make from book sales. And I know a lot of people's consulting fees are such that, one consulting gig is going to pay for the entire cost of your book, which makes it tremendously valuable to have a book. And also it just makes sense to have invested in a high quality book because, again, it makes you look more like a professional when your book is very professionally produced. So just looking at my notes to see if there's anything else. Oh, quick note. So one thing that comes up a lot when I talk about, consulting or training courses, people think they need to hold back in their book. And I'll probably talk about this again because when it comes to one of the other monetization methods that I like, but you don't have to hold back. And in fact, I don't think you should hold back. I am all for telling everybody all your secret approaches and strategies and tactics, because the reality is that just shows what an expert you are. And they still are going to want to talk to you about their particular situation. It is very rare that somebody is going to read a book and it has every answer that they need and they don't need anything else. It is so rare. Even when you put everything possible or all the best stuff into a book, I mean, think about a time when you read a book and now you went, okay, I've got everything I need. How often does that really truly happen? So I encourage you to not try to censor yourself thinking you have to hold back so people will hire you. Give them everything. And sure, there's going to be some people that, don't hire you because they feel like they got what they need, but those people were probably never your ideal client anyway. So, just that's my 2 cents on that. There's certainly other opinions out there. But I think when you intentionally hold back, people will feel it. And it's like you're trying to hide something versus giving everything they need. And again, I mean, every time somebody solves a problem, they create new problems. So there's always a new problem that needs to be solved. Let's talk about if you suddenly created a really, really successful business. Now you have the problem of scaling. Now you have the problem of what if you want to sell it? You have probably, team challenges because you've got a bigger team. If you've made a lot of money, you still have the challenge of what do you do with that money? Now you might have all kinds of relatives that are coming to you asking for things, asking to borrow money, asking for you to invest in things. So new problems get created, no matter how positive the situation or the outcome is. So there's always something people are going to need service and support with, even if you've given them everything on that one particular subject. The next thing is to sell a product. One of our clients wrote a book, The Doctor's Perspective on CBD, Science, Success Stories, and Changed Lives was his subtitle. It was by Dr. Mark Lindholm. His book was, was positioned to sell a CBD oil product. And he is a chiropractor, and he saw a lot of people basically not needing his chiropractic services after using this product. And he was really excited about it. And he wanted to sell more of this particular CBD oil product. So he wrote a book kind of explaining all the benefits of it. And it would feed in to, you wanting to use CBD oil as a solution. And, hopefully the book would create credibility and then generate sales for that. So there was other reasons behind him doing the book too, but, it ultimately sold a product which would generate more revenue for him. Bulletproof Coffee, Dave Asprey has written books, and I've seen him speak on stages, and he directly attributes sales lifts from his books to selling more and more products. Because once you buy the book on the Bulletproof method, you want to have that coffee. You want to have that fat stuff that you blend into your coffee. I don't know anybody here into Bulletproof coffee. My husband does it every day, and it's not for me. I think it's kind of gross, but he swears by it. Typically doesn't eat lunch or he doesn't eat until lunch because of his Bulletproof coffee. So we have another, I know they're investors actually in some of our investment properties, and they have a horse business. And she wrote a book because she was able to explain the different products, saddles and horseshoes in particular. And, that book helped them sell a lot of product to retailers in particular, was kind of their market. So, she wrote a book to sell that product, and she's working on book 2 now. I think book 2 or 3. I don't know if it's her third one. It might be her third one, because she basically starting to create them for all the different product lines that they have, because it's been such a great way to explain and help people make decisions to choose the right product. And because you're writing the book with your perspective, you probably love your product and have a very good reason for why you've created it the way you've created it. So you can explain that in your book. And that is, obvious. Your product should match what you think people should buy, because that's why you created it, right? So let's see who else is here. And then Jacqueline's adding in, if you start with a book and give them everything, the questions that they still have can be added to your course, your service, and keep adding more value. Absolutely. Efren, welcome. And Derek says, recent experience with virtual lectures has me thinking about starting a YouTube channel. Well, let us know when you do. We'll make sure to check it out. Mike, you made it. Guy, welcome. Okay. It was a close call. Well, you're here. Thank you. All right, Angela, I think it's time for a live prize. And Jacqueline, I'll do a number right now. And if you can come up with a skill testing question, we may actually, we will do a skill testing question. And the skill testing question will be, other than, what was I just talking about? Products. Other than products, what is one way I've already talked about to make more money using your book? So that's the skill testing question. First answer to that, we'll get a prize. And Haley, welcome. Woohoo. Good to have you here. Oh, all good. So this is rewarding those of you who are here early. So Embrace, welcome. We've got 2 winners. We got 2 winners here. We're going to go for a tie between Kelsey and Embrace. Woo! So here's what you guys do. You are able to choose whether you would like to get the #NoBoringBooks mug or the Book Launchers Oh So Soft journal. And you're going to drop a line at team, at booklaunchers.com with your mailing address and your choice. And Angela will ship them off to you. I think she's got a new hot off the press order of journals on the way. So if you want a journal, it might be a little bit of a delay getting to you, but let us know which one you want. And congratulations to Kelsey and Embrace Resort. Great to have you here. Okay, so heading back in. And not to worry, Andy, there's going to be more prizes. It's okay. If you missed that one, it's okay. Okay, so covered the products. Ultimately, the other thing to know is that after you've written a book, if you've done a good job, that it will build trust and establish credibility with your reader. And this goes for every one of these things, whether you're selling a course or consulting or a product or service, so that when you recommend in a course of action, people are a lot more likely to reach out to you. They may still look at other options, but they're a lot more likely to give more weight to your choices. So that can be very, very powerful. And that goes for the fifth one, which is selling a service, or an investment or a specific opportunity. So whether it's real estate investments, which was, my background, and then that was really where my course, that just triggered something. So with regards to courses, by the way, a very cool thing with courses, online courses, is they have, if you create a course that isn't specific to the times, and even if it is a little bit, you can potentially sell or license that course in the future. So it can have value. And your book being a funnel into that particular course can also be valuable in the future if you ever want to leave that business. So my real estate training and education company, I licensed those courses off to people across Canada. So they taught those courses under our business brand for 3 years, and then they white labeled them under their own brands and kind of changed them up. That was kind of the licensing deal that we had. So we were able to take advantage of those courses and generate income off of them for 3 years in the form of licensing fees. So there's a great opportunity for you with courses. That's kind of why I'm always talking about own your intellectual property. There's massive value in that. Okay, so going back to number 5, sell a service or an investment or an opportunity. So if you're in real estate, whether it's a mortgage professional or you sell real estate or you're a real estate investor raising capital, a book is a great way to explain your methodology, to kind of teach all the things that, make you unique, but also that are fundamentals that your clients or your potential investors or your, the purchasers or sellers that you're going to work with, what they need to know to succeed. And by doing that and explaining it all, you of course, establish trust and credibility. You also educate your clients. So if you find yourself always explaining the same thing over and over again, the book will explain a lot of that for you. But it can serve a lot of purposes there. It can also lead to potentially selling your business. So, I met one author. I was on his podcast, and he'd written, 12 books. And he said one of them wasn't very successful in terms of book sales. He'd only sold a couple hundred copies, but somebody who'd read one of his books bought his business for multi-million dollars. I can't remember the exact number anymore. But so that book was a great success, and it served a perfect purpose of ending up selling his business. But I know a lot of realtors or mortgage brokers who've used it as a way to establish credibility and teach their clients. And it only takes a couple of deals and your book is more than paid for. So then every other deal after that comes from your book is, money that you didn't have to, that the book was paid for. Now your book is generating a massive ROI for you. So tremendous opportunity for folks in the service industry, kind of like consultants, to use that book to really generate a lot of income. Number 6, software. One of my favorite examples of this is actually from the book Inbound Marketing, which we didn't work on, but it's just such a genius example of this. I have a couple other examples in progress, but Inbound Marketing, the book, promotes the form of marketing, the form of marketing, which is inbound marketing. So the title very accurately describes what it's about. But the book is pretty genius in that it teaches you how to do inbound marketing very effectively and in a very specific way, such that if you want to implement it, it really makes sense for you to get HubSpot, the software service, in order to execute on what they recommend. Of course, you can mix it up and try to do it in other ways, but the book teaches you really well how to do inbound marketing, but it also makes it so that if you were really wanting to implement exactly as the book teaches, you need their software. It's really the only way to do this. So we have other clients who are kind of working on some of books that are kind of like this, feeding into online services or software. One of our clients, and it's not out yet, so I can't give specific details, but it's really taking a HubSpot type approach where you're going to be learning this investment strategy, and he's going to have a software that is going to make it the easiest way to execute on this specific kind of investment strategy. So the software will be the answer to, the how. So you'll learn the why and even, what to do. But then when you go to the how am I going to do this, you're going to want the software because it's going to make it so much easier. So it's a pretty genius way to sell certain softwares and explain, a lot of the pieces that people need in order to effectively use some software. All right, let me just see who's hanging out over here. Okay, let's see. Just checking in on everybody over here. So they're getting the email address. Thank you, Angela, for handling that. Andy says his mind is blown with so many ideas expanding beyond the book. Yay, that was the goal. And how long should a course be? Do you go by chapters or pages? Yeah. And Angela sent you to a video on that. We're going to be doing more. I'm really excited. I didn't even touch on this part. We hired a new team member. She started with us last week. Her name is Zaylee Barkley, and she is a Thinkific course building expert, and she's built courses for clients for the last 6 years. A lot of them were authors taking their book and turning it into a course. And it is, so we're going to be creating a lot more content. She doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to be showcasing her and her expertise on some future YouTube videos, giving you guys tips to build courses specifically from books. And one of the reasons I've been looking for a while to bring this into book launchers, because I love online courses myself, and having the background of seeing how powerfully they help a reader just go deeper into the subject, and then help the author monetize their expertise in a much bigger way and reach a lot more people, especially nowadays, because people aren't going to be as anxious to hop on a plane to go learn for a little while anyways. So online courses, have tremendous value always, but even more now than ever. And so I've been looking for a while for a way to help our authors with this piece, because there's a lot of questions, right? Mike's already started asking them. And so I've hired somebody in-house to help. And so we'll be creating a lot more content on this. So I'm really, really excited about that. Okay. Hey, Lene, you made it. It's okay. You're late. You've only missed the first 6 ideas. There's still 4 to come. Okay. So, number 7 is sell done for you services. And essentially, we are at Book Launchers a done for you service. Of course, you're still writing your book, still your content, but we're doing as much of the pieces along the way as we possibly can. And I teach you through YouTube and soon through a book everything we do, and I don't hold back. Like I touched on before, I don't hold back. There's certain things I actually don't know. I mean, Jacqueline's in the house. Jacqueline can answer a lot of the questions that I don't know, because she's the one that gets in there and actually uploads the books and handles a lot of the finer details in there. But I am happy to help anyone who wants to do this themselves, because a book launcher's client isn't somebody who wants to figure out all the little tick boxes and all the little pieces. A book launcher's client is somebody who wants to have a professionally produced book, and they want to focus on what the thing that they're genius at, doing their thing. Like we've got Dr. Lene St. John in the house, who is a sexologist, and she helps all kinds of people with her sexology business. Her book, Read Me, is really about talking to your kids about sex and having more sex positive conversations. So she wants to focus on that business and her consulting and that side of it. And we can focus on the book piece. But for those of you who do love to do it yourself, or you're on a budget, I'm teaching you everything that you need to know to do these pieces. So YouTube's, books, blogs, they are a beautiful way to sell a done-for-you service, because there are always going to be people that are not going to want to do it themselves. Perfect example in my world, I just hired somebody to help me with some Google Ads specific stuff. I could learn it, but I don't want to. So she could teach me everything that she is doing every step of the way, and it doesn't matter, because I do not want to be the one to do it. So there's always going to be people who don't want to do it. So it's a book teaching everything that you do, really just shows that person, you've thought it through, you know what you're doing, you've encountered obstacles, you know how to problem solve and overcome them, and you've got the expertise and the credibility that they need to feel confident to hire you for that done for you service. So it is a great way to go that way. Number 8 is affiliate links. And I don't necessarily recommend you put affiliate links inside of your book, but you can refer people to your website where you have a recommended product and service page, and that can be where you have affiliate offers. So affiliate offers, if you're not familiar with them, are really what I think should be products and services you love, you use, you recommend, and as a result of introducing others to it, you get paid some sort of a fee. So one example is one that I talk about all the time, Publisher Rocket. We're affiliates for them. So when you buy the software, the Publisher Rocket software from my link, we get paid a fee for everybody who buys that. I recommend Publisher Rocket because my team uses it every single day. I even use it probably twice a week, and I'm not even doing the in-depth research that my team is doing. So we use it all the time. So I end up talking about it all the time. And then when I have now marketed their service for them, we get paid a small fee. So if there's something that you love, that you talk about all the time, that you recommend to everybody, reach out to them and see if they have some sort of affiliate relationship, because you're doing their marketing for them. There's really nothing wrong with getting an affiliate back. So where I don't like affiliates is when people are doing it just to generate income. I think it needs to be things that you genuinely love, that you're already an ambassador for, really. But you can make quite a bit of money from this. Pat Flynn, as an example, he used to disclose on his website where all the money he was making, and he made, I think it was 10 to 20% of his income, I think, was coming from affiliate links. It was pretty sizable. Might have even been more than that for a while. So affiliate links can be a really nice little income to make from your book. So if there is somebody's product or service or something you're talking about all the time, and you can put a recommended products page on your website and services, or even in an email, is if you create an autoresponder when you build your author platform. And you can add, hey, by the way, this is a recommended service that I think would help you. Here's what it does. Here's my link. And you do have to disclose that it's an affiliate link, that you get a kickback, so to speak, from that link. That's the law now. But again, that can be another source of income for you as an author. Okay, I got 2 more and a little bonus tip for you, and then we're going to wrap up. But let's do a YouTube prize. I put them into my random generator because while I'm in quarantine, I don't have access to a printer, so I have to use this online random generator. But I assure you, it is randomized. So I'm going to a fake drum roll, and pick a random name. Here we go. So today's YouTube winner, this is for commenting every Tuesday and Friday, the days videos are released. You get entered to win. And so today's prize winner is, where'd it go? Oh, I have to scroll down. Hold on. The winner is Phelps Strategies. Yay. I don't know if she's on the call today. I don't think I've seen her. But yay, congratulations when you're catching the replay, because she's pretty good about catching up on all of the videos. You can let us know if you want the mug or the journal. So email us at team@booklaunchers.com and let us know. Congratulations. Yay. And I'm just checking. Affiliate relationships should be honorable and transparent, never a sales push. Completely. And Trisha, hey, welcome. Good to see you here. Thanks for saying hello. And yes, I'm excited that Shell won that. So Shell, I hope you're watching. If not, Angela, make a note to reach out to her in a couple days and let her know she won. Okay, thanks. So that's awesome. Very excited. Okay. And we'll do one more prize for those of you who are here. So if you haven't already said hello, make sure you do, because there will be still one more prize and one more YouTube prize. Okay. So number 9 is speaking. And this one is fantastic for selling a lot of books in a small amount of time. But one thing I want to mention that a lot of people don't realize. So there's 2 things I love about books and speakers and authors is, number 1, a lot of places don't have a budget to pay you as a speaker, but a book allows you to monetize that speaking engagement. And you can do it in a few different ways. One way that I did fairly often was I would negotiate for them to buy a copy of my book at it was selling for, let's say, $20 Canadian, and I would sell it to them for 15, and it was costing me 5. So I was making $10. So if they had 500 people in their audience, I was getting $10 a book. You can do the math. That's not a bad speaking fee. And that also put my book in every attendee's hand. Sometimes it wasn't that many, sometimes it was only 50 books, but it was still a great opportunity for me to get some money when there was no money, and also get my book into everybody's hands. It also, we have quite a few clients who are speakers, and so they're getting a speaker's fee. Let's just say it's a $5,000 speaker's fee, but then that fee is the same. But if you present to a company or an association, you can say, okay, here's my speaker's package, and here's the speaker's package plus books. And a lot of times they take the same fee, but they also add on books so they can give books to every attendee. So you'll sell just like the same arrangement I said, but you'll sell that speaker's fee plus you'll make that extra on the books. So it can be a way to get more money that way. And if you can't get the organizer or the event to pay for books, you often can then set up a table at the back of the room and sell books yourself, which I sold hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books doing that. The part that was a pain was having to ship the books to the venue and, kind of schlep the books around. But a lot of times some of the conferences would organize that for me as well. A book also increases your fees and opens the door to more opportunities as well. One of the things that a lot of people, if you haven't applied to be a speaker, you may not realize is a lot of the speakers' application forms don't say, have you written a book? They say, what books have you written? Please list here. So the assumption is that you have written a book on this subject, full stop. And that, that alone means you're more likely to get speaking engagements, paid and unpaid. And unpaid speaking engagements lead to paid speaking engagements. Ryan Berman, author of Return on Courage, did an author spotlight video for us. It's coming out in 3 weeks, I think, is when it's scheduled to be released. But you guys are here, so I'm going to tell you a little bit of a snippet that he gave that is a golden tip. Think about who is going to, or who you would like to hire you as a paid speaker. And if you can, showcase that company in your book, or showcase that influencer in your book in a very positive way. And then you can use that to potentially leverage to get that speaking engagement. And he called them amplifiers. So in his case, he was very interested in speaking at Google because he felt like once he'd spoken at Google, he can say, Ryan Berman spoken at Google, Snapchat, et cetera, et cetera. And that gave him instant credibility, which would lead to many other paid speaking engagements. And it worked. He put Google and Snapchat in his book and got speaking engagements with both of them. So very cool. So now you guys know, but you still watch the video, okay? He gives some other cool tips when it comes out. All right. Number 10, live events, masterminds, and conferences. These could arguably be 3 different ones, but I'm not going to drag this out. But look at Russell Brunson, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins. Books feed into their giant conferences. It's really just a low cost funnel entry point for them. In Russell Brunson's case, I think he does a lot of that free plus shipping offer, which I promise not to rant about right now. For those of you who've seen me go on and on about that topic before, I promise I'll spare you. But that's a low cost item that gets somebody in the door, and then they funnel you in to then sign up for their $1,000 or even more than their $1,000 live ticket event. Masterminds, if you haven't joined business masterminds or some of these other masterminds, I've been in quite a few of them over the years. They are rarely less than $10,000. So you can start your own mastermind group. And if it's business oriented and you're able to offer some sort of, marketing, like if you support somebody in generating revenue, then you can usually charge at least $10,000. We ran a $10,000 mastermind when we ran our training and education company. We had a small group of people that it's actually really cool for us. Side note, now that it's been it's been at least 5 years since we ran a high-end mastermind group. And it's really cool for us to see the people who are in our mastermind groups and the amazing things that they're doing in the real estate industry in Canada now. So that's kind of, as a side benefit, one of the really rewarding parts about having that mastermind. But, if you get 10 people into a $10,000 a year mastermind, that's $100,000 right there. Now it's time intensive. running a mastermind, but so is a live event and those kind of things. But that's a really, really great way to have a really deep impact on people and generate a lot of revenue from your book. And I can tell you that our masterminds filled up a lot faster after my book came out for two reasons. People now understood our method. They understood what I was about and what we were about is our investment strategy and approach. So they self-selected themselves. And it shortened the sales cycle because they got to know me. And so what would normally be a long sales cycle to get somebody into a high ticket mastermind became very short after they'd read the book. So it's really, really powerful. And same with live events and conferences. It's all about that trust and credibility factor that feeds beautifully in. So an out of the box idea for you is a book can be a great way to start a new career. Now, I'm not talking, low end careers here, but I did an MBA. It was extremely expensive. And it also took me out of the working world for 2 years. Now, some people will do an executive MBA and do it in the evenings and give up their life in exchange for the MBA. But MBAs are very expensive. And if you have a very specific career goal in mind, a company you want to work for, or a job that you want, and it's a high-end, job, like I'm thinking this would be a good approach for $100,000, $200,000 a year salary type jobs. Why not write a book to showcase your expertise and why you're the person? It's just an out of the box idea, but I do a lot of hiring and I have worked for companies where I did a lot of hiring, and that would be far, far more impressive and would put you to the front of the line way faster than any education you could possibly have. So just an out of the box idea. If you have a dream career and you know that you're a good fit for it, why not invest money and time into writing an amazing book and use that as your resume? Just something to think about. On the other side, as a company, if you have a company, your book is a tremendous opportunity to attract employees and even onboard current hires to really understand your culture, your approach, and teach them a lot of things that can take a year for people to interact with you and your organization and learn. So a couple other out of the box benefit ideas, not necessarily to make money, but to save money. So I just thought I'd throw those out there because I think they're both kind of different and I don't hear a lot of people talking about them. Okay. So, sorry, I'm just catching up on what's going over here. You can get real-time feedback at speaking engagements as well. It is very, very true. Joyce said, I've had quite a few speaking engagements for a couple of years, and many have told me I should write. And I have 2 in the works, but not my main books yet. Yeah, great. Just looking at see if there's anything else here. If there's anything else I should, friends of the library have paid me at some libraries. Great, Trisha. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so we're going to do a couple more prizes. Mike, something happened with Mike. You've saved me from what would have been, my first book is almost finished. It would have been finished months ago. However, you were the reason for the delay. I'm getting blamed here. But the good thing is I'm getting blamed for helping him create a great book. So I'll take the blame. That's awesome. Wonderful to hear. Okay. Gabby's got a question, but we're going to do a couple prizes and then I'll answer any other questions you have before we wrap up here. Okay. Number. Let's do a number. Let's see. What's the date today? Actually, you know what? We're going to do number 17 because that is Norway Day and also my husband's birthday. So we're going to go number 17 backwards from Gabby Gilbert's question. Not Gabby Gilbert's question. Gabby Gilbert said, I would buy #NoBoringBooks merch. Good to know. So Angela, can you go 17 back from Gabby's comment? Excuse me, it's almost time for me to chug from my giant. I was trying not to chug from this because it's pretty big and obscene, but I'm thirsty. So I'm going to have a drink. You guys can see my giant jug of water. I take hydration seriously. Okay. Thank you for that. So, and now I'll do the draw for the YouTube and then I'll come back and answer your questions. Okay. Randomizer. There you are. Okay, here we go. Give me that fake drum roll, please. And our next winner, for everybody commenting on every Tuesday and Friday when a video is released, our next winner of either the #NoBoringBooks mug or our Oh So Soft journal is Kevin McGuire, who I don't think he's even here today. Did I see Kevin McGuire? Is Kevin McGuire in the house? I don't think so. I was going to let him pick if he's here. He can nominate. Otherwise, he's won everything. So I'm pretty sure he would let us just draw this to someone else here. Yeah, I don't see him. So I am just going to, Anne, you're welcome. Thank you. And I'm just going to draw again, and then I'll go and answer the questions for anybody who wants to stick around for a few more minutes of Q&A. I am ending no matter what at the top of the hour, but I will answer questions as long as you have them until that point. But I'm going to draw somebody else because Kevin, it's not Kevin number 2, it was Kevin number 1. All right, here we go. Drum roll again. Here we go. Here we go. And the winner again is, oh. Dark Truth. I'm going to pick another name. I'm not sure if Dark Truth watches my replays or not, but Dark Truth doesn't even like my voice and yet comments on a lot of my videos that, yeah, not always the most uplifting commenter in the house. I appreciate feedback, but anyways, so I'm going to draw somebody else. IJ King. Yay! Congratulations, IJ. So I know you'll be watching the replay. So email us at team@booklaunchers.com and let us know if you want the mug or the journal and give us your mailing address. I gotta pay better attention to the names I'm putting in here. Okay, so back to the Q&A. If anybody is a regular reader of the comments, you will know what I'm talking about. Okay. Brilliance. Hello, welcome. So good to see you here. And Trisha, congratulations. You are our comment winner for the day. So that is fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to go back and answer a couple of questions. For those of you who need to leave, thank you so much for being here. It's been such a pleasure to spend so much time with you today. And let me know what our next subject should be about in 2 weeks when we do this again. But for those of you who have questions, I'm going to go back and answer questions until as long as we have them here. Angela, if there's any I miss, if you can let me know if we haven't answered them already, I will answer them. But I saw a couple questions here. What if you're not sure if you can make your book a course? So this is your question, Gabby. So generally speaking, if your book is serving an audience that has a problem that you can solve, then your book probably can become a course. And I've seen courses on everything. I mean, you can look, actually, here's a good way to answer this instead of trying to generalize. Go onto Teachable or Masterclass and see if there's other courses on a subject like that. It's very hard for me to actually think of things that couldn't be made into a course, because you think about universities and colleges, there's always there's courses on almost everything. What you can charge for it, though, is a different story. So if you offer something, like if you're teaching people how to make, I don't know, how to knit bonnets or how to sew masks to wear, that doesn't have a ton of value. If you're teaching somebody how to build a business out of knitting, that has more value because they're going to generate revenue from it. So if you have a course that solves a big expensive problem or that can help somebody generate money, then you can charge more for it than if it's more of a hobby topic. Hopefully that makes sense. So it's really less about whether your book can become a course when we're talking nonfiction, and more about what you're going to be able to charge for it and what needs to be in it. And that really comes back to the value and, the value of the problems that you're solving and the value that you're adding. And if you're doing anything around leadership, marketing, sales, that kind of stuff, there's definitely a lot of value. Even self-help, a lot of that stuff has tremendous value. So I don't know if you have a more specific question or if you want to kind of elaborate what your book is about, and we can dive into that more specifically, but that's my take on that. Somebody asked about, how do you charge for coaching? Is it hourly or by the package? If you don't have testimonials, you'll probably have to start a lot lower. Generally, I've never been a fan of selling time 1 hour at a time. I like to package it up, and that's me. I certainly see a lot of people selling their time by the hour, but first of all, it's never an hour, right? So that's part of the challenge with selling your time as an hour, is because it's never an hour. There's prep time, there's follow-up, there's research, there's thinking. So you're never, when you get somebody's time for an hour, you're rarely getting just an hour. You're getting a lot more. So when you sell time by the hour, people only think of the 60 minutes or the 30 minutes that they're on the phone with you and don't realize all the other things or don't value those other things that you have to do in order to deliver value in that time. So I prefer packages because you can add other things in that allow you to charge what you're worth, but it doesn't come across as just that hourly rate. And an example could be if you had a simple course that teaches somebody how to do something, and then you're going to hop on the phone and kind of take it to the next level. You can bundle all of that up. And really, because the course doesn't have an out-of-pocket cost to you after it's created, you can basically say the course is worth $300 and, but this whole package is $500 and you're going to get 2 phone calls with me. That's like saying your time is $250 an hour, which in that case it might be, but it allows you to bundle it up in a way that is easier for somebody to digest and see the value in. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, generic answers for things that are probably very specific situations, but, whoa. Sorry, there's something weird just popped up on my screen. It's like there's something like, hey, this is a shout out for something. That's weird. Okay. Maria, hey, great to have you here. I'm glad you happened upon us as well. And it's a message held for review. So hopefully Angela's on top of it because I think she can review these things. I think my book will be a course, and you've given me a genius idea too. Hey, genius ideas come for free for joining in today. So that's awesome. I can't wait to hear what comes of it. Let's see. Lene is telling everybody what her course is about. Show Up, Breathe for Parents, how to talk to their kids about sexuality. That's awesome. Anyone self-published. I think almost everybody here is self-published because it's all about owning your intellectual property, which, by the way, allows you to do things like courses. And one of the monetization methods I didn't get into because it's a new area we're exploring for our clients is turning your book adapting it into something for screen. And owning your intellectual property really gives you tremendous leeway in what happens when your book gets adapted to screen. So there's going to be a lot more content coming out on that piece. In fact, starting on Friday, we're going to be talking about books that can be adapted to screen. And I've got some Hollywood experts that are going to be in those videos for you. So check that out on Friday. And one last question, and we're going to wrap this up. Ben Preston question. My book is targeted to individuals. Is there a way to pivot it to businesses to offer consulting? Absolutely. Who has those individuals in their company? And really think about those individuals. So I think I gave kind of a loose example earlier. My brain is trying to wrap around this one example that I spent some time working with somebody on the phone with the other day. But if the company has that individual or a group of those individuals in their company, what can you offer the company to help manage those individuals so they're more productive, they're more effective, they're more satisfied, they're advancing in their career? So it's really, what do you do that helps that individual that will ultimately serve the company in their greater objective? And that makes for a perfect consulting opportunity, and packaging it up for training and consulting, workshops, that kind of stuff. So hopefully that helps. All right. I am going to wrap up, but thank you guys. This was such an awesome live stream. You were so engaged. I really, really appreciate that. It makes it way more fun for me, especially while I'm in a true lockdown quarantine. We have 5 more days. We're free on Saturday. We get to go out and walk. That's the strange thing about being on a true quarantine and you can't leave the property. You can't even go for a walk. But it's been okay. It's been great to be back in Canada with family. So that's when we can actually hug them. It'll be really wonderful. All right. Take care. Stay safe, everybody. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for joining in. And we'll talk to you soon. If you're watching the replay, make sure you say hello because you'll be entered in to win prizes as well. Bye.